Too good to use. What do you do with stuff that you have that's too good to use? That's a great question, and we're going to talk about that today. Hi there, I'm Angela Brown, and this is Ask a House Cleaner. This is a show where you get to ask a house cleaning question, and I get to help you find an answer. Now, today's show is brought to us by housecleaning360.com, and there's a whole bunch of people there that can help you with different things that happen inside your home. Whether it's your irrigation and your sprinkler repair, whether it's your landscaping, maybe it's gutter cleaning or window washing. There's a whole host of people that service the home on housecleaning360.com. All right, on to today's question, which is from a house cleaner who was trying to help a customer go through a bunch of stuff and do some hoarding removal, and she ran across a particular peculiar problem. The customer was saving a bunch of things that are too good to use. What do you do with those things? All right, well, the truth is most of us are guilty of having things that are too good to use. If you come to my house right now, I have 4 sets of dishes. I have a set of fine china that is too good to use. We only use it at Thanksgiving and Christmas. It's too good to use for the rest of the year. Don't ask me why, it just is. It was handed down from somebody else. All right, the second set of dishes that I have is a set of dishes that is too good to use. They were my husband's dishes when he was a bachelor, and when we got married, we bought our own set of dishes. And so we didn't buy our own set. It's a long story. And now that I started it, I better tell you the story. The story is I didn't have the money for a fancy wedding reception at the time, so I was going to have an open house inside my house. And in order to rent the dishes, they were going to be $1 a piece, or if I broke them, I had to replace them at $1 a piece. But near where I live, there's this great big store. It was a pottery store that sold all the exact same kind of dishes for $1 a piece. So instead of renting them for $1 a piece, I bought them for $1 a piece. And then if we broke them, then I would still have them. So we have that set of dishes, and we retired the set of dishes that my husband had when he was a bachelor. So now those are too good to use because these other dishes are just clear glass. The clear glass on colored, chargers, decorate any plate. And so they're great for holidays, for birthdays, for every day, for whatever. They're just glass plates. They're awesome. And they've got a little decoration in them, and they're fancy and whatever. So those have become our main plates. Then when I have the nieces and nephews come over, I have a whole set of plastic dishes so that if they drop on the floor, they don't shatter and break, and we can eat outside and have picnics and stuff like that. So I've got 4 sets of dishes. 2 of them are too nice to use. Now, in all the houses that I've cleaned over the years, I've run into gobs of people that have these huge, really expensive china cabinets. And inside the china cabinets are things that they have that are too good to use. It's fancy china, it's silver, very nice like little goblets and candlesticks and gravy pourers and serving spoons and the silverware dishes themselves. And they've got these big ornate boxes that the silverware goes in, and just all kinds of things that you have to dust and clean and polish and wipe down. And then every year near Thanksgiving or Christmas, you got to pull all this stuff out and repolish and wash it and get it ready to use for the holiday. Most of us have stuff that is just too good to use. And in some people's houses, it's their house itself. They've got like these runners on the carpet so that you won't get the carpets dirty underneath. And they have covers over their sofas and their chairs so that if you sit on them, you're not going to get them dirty because that's too good to use, right? Like, who are the special people that are going to come use this stuff, and when are they coming, right? So there are a lot of people, a lot of us are guilty of this. We have stuff that's too good to use. Now, when I got married, my sister, bless her heart, she crocheted. If you know crocheting, it's a little tiny hook, and it was like a number 10 size hook with this very fine thread. She crocheted me an enormous tablecloth. So my first instinct was, well, don't put that on the table because it's too good to use, right? And it was a huge table. I didn't even have a table at the time that was big enough for this tablecloth. And in all the years I've been married, I've never had a table that was big enough for that tablecloth. So I hate to say this, and Jennifer, if you're watching this, I'm going to cry because I hope you never watch this. I hope you don't find out. But I've never used the tablecloth. It's still in a tight gallon Ziploc bag folded up because, number 1, I don't have a table for it, and number 2, it's too nice to use. And so now I've got to find somebody that's got a really nice table that can honor this tablecloth that Jennifer spent enormous hours creating. But I didn't want to spill any food on it. I didn't want to ruin it. It was so nice. I was going to save it for special occasions and for the time when I got the great big oak dining room table. But you know, that never happened. The table we have is a round top and it will hold 4 or 5 people, and that's about it. So we never did get the table, and I've never used the tablecloth. It's too nice to use, and I don't want to ruin it. So what do you have in your house? What do you have that you're hanging on to that's too nice to use? Is it some particular clothing that you're saving? It's a dress, it's a pair of jeans, it's a purse, it's a pair of shoes. We all have stuff. We're all guilty of having stuff that's too good to use, and we're saving it for some imaginary special occasion or an imaginary special person that's coming to visit, that then we're going to pull out our finest. And then what? They're going to get it dirty? Like, what is that? So my little sister Julie had this great idea a couple of years ago that she was going to use all the stuff that was too good to use right now, right here in real time. And she started wearing the fancy jeans and wearing the nice purse and wearing the expensive shoes, even though they were everyday activities. And what happened was she got a lot of joy out of saying, I'm the person that's special enough. I get to wear this stuff that's special enough because today I'm alive. Today is the special occasion. So if you're going through hoarders' houses and they've been hanging on to stuff, there's probably a lot of stuff like, you know, cheap plastic cups or cheap plastic food bins or broken toys or whatever. There's probably something they can throw away with no regrets. But the regrets are hanging on to things and paying for storage and storing things that are going to get passed on down to our kids that we have never used. So to our kids, they have no value. They had no value to us because we never used them. We never created an anchor or a bookmark in their mind that, hey, I'm keeping this because this was really important to my mom, right? It wasn't important to my mom. She never used it. It was too good for her. She never used it. It's just stuff. Then you pass it on to them and there's no value for them either. But they hang on to this stuff because they feel this obligation because you hung on to it. And then we create these generations of hoarders. So the reality is this: if you have stuff that's too nice to use, you're good enough. Pull it out and use it today. And if you're not going to use it, find a new home for it. Sell it, give it away, or donate it. Because right now we're in a place where all of us have too much stuff. And if you look at the storage units around me, oh my goodness, they're popping up like wildfire. They're everywhere now. People are buying and renting these storage units so they can store all this stuff. And it's their family stuff and their relative stuff that they've inherited. And it's stuff from previous relationships and previous marriages that, I don't know, it meant something to them at the time, but it doesn't mean anything to them now. And I promise it doesn't mean anything from here through the future, right? They've moved on enough to take this stuff and put it in a storage unit. If you're going to put it in a storage unit, take a picture of it, hang on to the picture of it, and let go of the stuff. Get rid of it, sell it, give it away, donate it. I don't care what you do with it, but get rid of it. There's no sense in us hoarding stuff and hanging on to stuff because stuff is too good to use. If you're not going to use it, get rid of it. And so my suggestion in the vein of organization, tidying up, cleaning up, it may spark joy. But if all it is a spark, let it go, right? It's either part of your life or it's not. And if it's not part of it, move on. Because as you're evolving, we all evolve every day. We become new people. As you move forward, you're not looking at stuff that's in the back. We're not looking at stuff behind you. That stuff had meaning 20 years ago. It may not have meaning now. So give yourself permission to move on. All right, that's my 2 cents for today. And until we meet again, leave the world a cleaner place than when you found it.